It is hump day. And as I said, tradition has it that if a working man or woman has some money in his pocket, in her purse, his, her weekend could be smooth sailing because he or she may be or may not be living from hand to mouth. But money is still coming and money is still going as fast as it comes. But be that as it may, I can report to you today that the government's 2017-2018 budget has been passed in the Senate last night to officially begin a new fiscal year starting July 1st. Is it a PLP budget? Is it a shrimp and salmon budget? Is it a budget for the rich and not the poor? Well, I ask these questions because as I listened intently to the budget debate, first in the House of Assembly 3 weeks ago, and then in the Senate last week, and for about 5 days, they ended yesterday. Those were some of the concerns which were raised by government, ministers, and members of parliament, and members of the opposition. Whatever is your conclusion, this is the budget that the Hubert Minnis administration must work with for the next year. And I can also conclude that the people of the Bahamas are now looking for positive action. Yes, they are looking for results. And they want to see jobs, 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 and much more jobs. And while the budget was being passed in the Senate last evening, gentlemen, where were you when that heavy rain and that strong, sharp lightning storm lit up New Providence? It reminded me that more stormy weather is on the horizon for the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie, and the Progressive Liberal Party, who are now out of power. Already, the country has been inundated with what seems to be an endless avalanche of charges against the Christie administration for allegedly misusing public funds in their allocation of government contracts. The charges which were laid are cascading at least $100 million that has gone with the trade winds, gone with the loss. And there seems to have been an orchestra with a synchronizing symphony as the ministers of the government, led by Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, talked about Mr. Christie's cabinet ministers doing their own thing, despite warnings to Mr. Christie by his Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Public Works, Mr. Philip Brave Davis, that the members of Parliament were authorizing contractors to undertake capital and property maintenance works to be Ministry of Works without the Ministry of Works having any consideration and giving any approval. Those ministers, those in question, have been accused of misfeasance for abusing their legal authority. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ellison Greenslade, has since reported that the Anti-Corruption Unit of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force are now investigating 11 files from government ministries and corporations. And yes, many persons were incensed by recent comments by the Attorney General, Mr. Carl Bethel, that he did not hear anything coming out of the budget debate in the House of Assembly raising any criminal concerns. Well, I don't know if Mr. Carl Bethel, the Attorney General, has now had a change of position. when he spoke very early on that matter. But what I can tell you today is this: whatever files or complaints which come or have come to the attention of the Attorney General, he says they will be turned over to the police for investigation. He says the Office of the Attorney General will then act on those files and complaints based on the findings of the police. So, with that said, there are some people who are telling me, and somebody called me just yesterday to tell me they don't care to hear anymore about the alleged wrongdoing of former Progressive Liberal Party government ministers. Well, there's only one thing that I can say to that, and that is this: when the floodgates are closed, then we will be forced to change our focus. But in the meantime, I wish you could find this song for me. I've been loving the Bahamian people for too long to stop now. And so I'll continue to press on until my change comes. And so for now, I am going to work while it is day, because when the night comes, the stormy weather, no man can see to do any work. So here's to my queen and my country. Forward ever, backward never.
I understand your concept, but my position on that is totally different.
And that is where we're going to cross some swords right now.
You see, I refer back to the story.
Yes.
The history. Okay? And the history reveals to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, okay, that in 1992, there was a drastic revolutionary change in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And bear in mind, Mr. Aubrey,
yes, sir,
I am talking about 1992. Now, from 1992 to 2017, if I am not mathematically in error,
you can have a 5 at the end.
It's 25 years.
You can have a 5 at the end.
So pray tell me, please help me to understand.
Yes.
Why successive? I'm not talking about PLP government. I'm talking about successive governments. FNM from 1992 to
2020
to 20.
Yes.
02.
Trusted.
Okay. Then we go from 2002. See, Bahamians, you have got to track the history of what has been occurring in your nation. Then we go from 2002 to 2007, eh?
Yes, we did.
We had another governmental change. Then we go from 2007 to 2012. There was another governmental change. Okay? Now we are moving from 2012 to 2017. Okay? And you are now suggesting to me
5-year intervals. Yes.
You are now suggesting to me that after 25 years,
yes,
okay, of, I wonder how I should clause it, because it can't be majority rule, okay, a black people rule.
That is correct.
That's the only way I could put it.
That is correct.
A black people rule for 25 years. Black people still ain't get no indoor facility. Well, you see, Mr. Mahanolby, that's not a crying shame on the UEP. That's a crying shame on the black people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And when I'm talking about black people, I'm talking about black people inclusive of PLP, FNM, PLP, FNM, PLP, and FNM again today. So no shuffle, no jive, no sugar coating. This matter has to be addressed in this agenda of the Free National Movement, which is now the government of the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You see, we can't spew this nonsense out. We can't blame the PLP for this nonsense because successive governments have held Baintown, Grantstown, Angleston in the same situation as it finds itself in today after 25 consecutive years. We have got to begin, Dr. Minnis, to resolve and solve the problems.
Well,
and let us stop, Mr. Martin Albright.
Yes, sir.
Let us stop chastising the opposition because all of us, in my view, are responsible for the decay of the inner city today.
well, let's find out the genesis of this story about the 20,000 people without indoor toilet facilities. It was the Attorney General and Senator, the Honorable Carl Bethel, who said, before the Minnis administration rolls out legislation to regulate its inner city incentives plan, an initiative which was a part of its 2017 campaign to carry out an intense study of over-the-hill areas,
So can you hold?
taking into account very specific factors
So can you hold?
to improve the way of life for residents.
So can you hold?
Yes, let's
You
hold.
see, we're talking about 2017.
Yes.
But I ask you a question. Has the Free National Movement not been the government of the Bahamas
Since
in
1992,
1997?
how many thousands of people were without
That's all I'm saying.
indoor toilets in 1992?
I'm only taking the Bahamian people
How many?
back to reflect.
How many people were without running water in their homes in 1992? And where were they? Well, let's get to it. Mr. Bethel, in the Senate, said those factors include whether homes are equipped with running water and inside toilets. Well, according to the Minister of Labor, Senator Dion, folks, there are more than 3,300 households without running water or indoor toilets. He explained during the 2017-2018 budget communication in the upper chamber that this number affects close to 20,000 people, opening them up to indignity and health hazards because of the use of outdoor toilets. And it was during his wrap-up of the debate in the Senate yesterday, Mr. Bethel said, and I quote, "When we are able to do it, we want to have real businesses that are going to be in the over-the-hill area as defined right now, the traditional inner city. They will set up, renovate, or build buildings, and people will want to move to the area." He went on, "The Bahamian people will develop their own ancestral homes and want to live there, and want to live on wider streets with better street lighting, with better police protection, with better traffic flows, with a sewerage system. Right now, the government is on the verge of considering whether to do a full house-to-house survey where we will map out, with the help of the NGIS unit of the government, dealing with all of the technologies. We will have photographs, we will have satellite documentation of exact locations. We will go street to street house by house, yard by yard, apartment by apartment. We will know the ownership structure, the occupational structure of every building, whether it has running water or whether it has toilets. We are going to do this so that when we bring that incentive act, we will have empirical evidence, and we will have a standard by which our effort can be judged before we can do anything to set the ship of state right.
I understand what the minister is saying, but my position, man, is still the same. Okay, the government of today, okay, has been successive government from 1992 to 2002. Okay, which means, you know, directly, not indirectly, that you recognize what you are now eluding.
Well, this is the first time that they are really making a concrete effort to bring about.
No, hold on.
But I want to tell you what the government doing today.
Hold on.
I want to tell you what Dr. Hubert Minnis says he's going to do over the hill.
Because this is the same
He's
government.
coming with a change, with a new plan.
No, this is the same government.
This Hubert Minnis government we're talking about.
No, but this is the same
No,
government.
but this Hubert Minnis with this plan.
This is the same government.
This is not Hubert Alexander Ingram's plan.
Well, he did the best he could have done.
Well, I'm telling you, Minnis is coming with a new plan to bring an economic zone over the hill.
Yeah,
and
I understand that.
They want to begin by eradicating outdoor toilets,
but at the same time,
making sure everybody got running water.
I understand that. Okay, but you see, in my view, this is only my view. I'm not as affluent. I'm not as academically qualified as they are, but I'm saying,
yes,
okay, that for the past, okay, from 92 to 217, how much years is that, man, Norbert?
That's plenty of years. 25 years.
Okay,
25 years.
So we have had successive government changes in 25 years.
That is true.
And what I'm suggesting, you know, is don't tell me that after 25 years, you're only now focusing, or you are only now becoming aware of these inefficiencies. Mr. Mahanobri, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I understand that, and I'm certain that they all knew from then until now, before that, before 92, they knew what the conditions were under previous governments. From the UBP time, they knew what was going on. And the PLP came to power. They knew what was going on. You remember they told us about some Grandstand Urban Renewal?
Grandstand Urban Renewal Development.
You remember they tell us about that?
No, that was Prime Minister Pinnan who talked about Grandstand Urban Development.
Yes.
Well, that's 40 years ago. Where is Grandstand Urban Development? And then Prime Minister...
Most of the plans have been in writing, on paper. They've been shelved, and they are still collecting more than dust now, eh? How about cobwebs?
So this is what
they're collecting cobwebs.
But this is what annoys me now.
Plans.
This is what annoys me.
Spider webs.
You are now buying into a major
I want to see a real plan implemented by this Minnis administration.
Because this is a people's time.
He told us what he's going to do.
Well, gentlemen,
let's talk.
Yeah, I've been letting you all
more action.
Toilet talk.
I'm happy that you have joined the Cabal Talk.
I have allowed you all to talk toilet talk for the last half hour.
But the toilet talk
it's real talk.
It's a reality.
Real talk.
Drive in Baintown, drive in Grantstown,
go in Angliston,
drive in Angliston,
what
drive
do you see?
in Centerville, and tell me what you would discover.
Any in South Beach?
Anyway,
any in Pinewood?
If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, This is Straight Talk. Your host, Greg Colley, Martin Albury, and former Senator Derek Sims. And you tune in to Global 99.5 FM. When we come back, we're going to entertain some more of this toilet talk and see
We want to eliminate the toilet.
You want to eliminate these toilets.
Eradicate
well,
outdoors toilets.
let me
And that's what they say.
some people say
And
leave
no-
my
no,
toilet.
no,
Some people
no.
say leave my toilet alone.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Yeah.
But how can we bring
because the last time I checked, a toilet could be purchased with running water. You could purchase one for about $90 or less. And so, tell me something. We can talk about it some more. Is it the responsibility of the government collectively, or what role did the individual member of parliament played in trying to eliminate it in his or her constituency? What did they do? We're coming back. This is Straight Talk. After we hear from our sponsors.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again! For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 Thigh Snack Special!
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 Thigh Snack Special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included!
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts roasted peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts roasted peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road. LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction.
for fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Straight Talk with your host, Greg Colley, Martin Albury, and former Senator Derek Sims. And you're tuned into Global 99.5 FM and Straight Talk. If you are having any difficulties with our signal, please let us know. We'd like to hear from you. I have a text message that says, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Prime Minister and Mr. Deputy Prime Minister, how are you? We are great. We haven't heard from you for a little while. Good to hear you. Good to hear you from you also. God save the Queen. Yes, indeed.
We need to reveal your identity. This is an anonymous text messenger. Hello. I just want you to know that before the Minister administration rolls out legislation to regulate its inner city incentives plan, they are planning, first of all, to have an intense study of over-the-hill areas, taking into account very specifically factors to improve the way of life for the residents of the over-the-hill communities. Now, where are these over-the-hill communities that they are referring to? What did we generally refer to as being over the hill? When we talk about over the hill, are we talking about over East Street Hill? Are we talking about over Blue Hill? Are we talking about over Market Street Hill? Over Centerville? Hill
Gentlemen,
or
before
Mackey Street Hill
I let you all
or
continue to talk
Nassau
about
Street Hill?
about the toilets,
Well,
let's look at it. I know you're going after what Minister of Labor has said, Senator the Honorable Dion Folks, but let's look at it in perspective with the Bahamian people. If you were to look at the 5 top issues that confront the constituents, the people of the Bahamas at this time, do you think that outdoor toilet ranks among the top 5?
Well, that will have to come with 1 to 5. Tell me what the other 4 are, and I may be able to give you a good answer as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let's explore.
Give me 5.
Let's explore.
Give me the 5.
Let's explore then.
Number 5.
What are the top,
what is number 1?
No, let's talk about
Number
what
1
are the top
is jobs.
issues that are on the Bahamian
Number
public
1
mind
is
at
jobs.
this time. No, I think I would agree with
The
that.
second one is crime.
I would agree with that.
You got 2 from me,
Mhm.
and number 5 would be outdoor toilets.
Well, no,
So you got 3.
you can't
You got-
jump. No,
but
no,
you
no,
got
no,
3
no,
out
no,
of
no,
5.
no. You gave 2. You can't jump right there. That's no. No, that's number 2. And then it has to be. Let's go to Senator Sims, and let's get 3 and 4 from you. Healthcare,
and national security.
national security. All right. And would you think education would be
Education
number
should
5?
be before healthcare and national security.
So
That's a priority.
So where people defecate right now, I don't know whether that ranks high on the Bahamian public's mind. Although it is an issue that we've I believe political parties have played political football with. But my view on this is that there has to be a greater involvement, concern by the individual representative. If, for instance, I said on this show that most of the areas that are depressed have been traditionally represented by the Progressive Liberal Party. I believe over the past 50 years, you may have had, you spoke about the FNM being in government for 15, now going, will be this term will perhaps make them 20 years as a government versus the Progressive Liberal Party, who would have had 40 plus years as being the government. Now, let's put that all in perspective. The Progressive Liberal Party has always said they champion the poor, the downtrodden, the least among us. But what have they done in order to uplift the lives of those people who they represented, who have been so loyal to them? Most of those areas, my colleague Matt Norby mentioned Pinewood Garden and all these other areas. These are areas that are modern areas that have been developed. We're talking about the places like Grantstown, Baintown, Angliston, and to a less extent, because I believe in Angliston you probably will have not as much outdoor toilets that would exist in Grantstown, Baintown, and in those inner city areas. Now, what has the member of parliament? Now, I want to remind you that each member of parliament, since the Ingram administration was in power, were given $100,000 to do projects within their area. I have not heard one single member of parliament, whether it's PLP, FNM, or otherwise, use that money to try to encourage, to even with the urban renewal program, to eliminate, lessen, to completely get rid of all of the, at least a significant amount. The Minister of Labor mentioned some 20,000 toilets still in existence. Now, I don't know whether that is a number that has been thrown out, or whether that is an empirical number that somebody did the research and actually say, could it actually say that these are the number of outdoor toilets that exist. So if we have 20,000, what is the plan? What is the plan to reduce, say, the 20,000 to 15,000 within the next year or two? What is the plan? It's good to point it out, but what plan do we have? What does the member of parliament, what part do they play in helping to eradicate those outdoor toilets?
Well,
I approach it differently.
the two gentlemen who are speaking concerning the incentives plan or the tax exemption plan or tax zone that the Prime Minister told us during his campaigning in the campaigning leading up to the general election. While on the campaign ahead of the stunning victory over the then governing PLP, the Prime Minister, then leader of the FNM, proposed tax breaks, including duty-free importation of construction materials for residential and commercial properties, and no business license fees or real property taxes, no taxes on household furniture, no taxes on capital goods and business equipment after proper vetting, and lower import duties vehicles. Now, the first one, Senator, the Honorable Carl Bethel, who is the Attorney General, speaking on this matter about the incentives, says that before the administration rolls out the legislation, just give me 1 minute to deal with this, some things will have to be put in its proper place. Then we heard Mr. Dion Folks, another senator, and bear in mind, these two men, they don't have no representation of any constituencies.
Yeah, but they're senior officials of the
That's
government.
okay. Some people even questioning how they get to be where they are today, but that's another matter.
Yeah.
The next thing is they don't have
They're deserving of
any
no,
constituencies.
No, they're deserving of being
No,
where they are.
I'm not going to get into who say what and what deserving.
Uh-huh.
But listen to this point. They about things that must be done
Yes,
before these incentives roll in.
yes.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's
And
go.
one of the things
Gentlemen,
they
let's,
talked
let
about
me take this call.
is the elimination of outdoor toilets.
Yes, let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
We are doing fine. How are you today?
I don't know whether any of you gentlemen ever lived through the experience that you are now discussing. You ever had to deal with an outdoor toilet?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I remember it very vividly.
You remember what it's like when it rains?
Absolutely.
I came from the Baintown area. Lived
Hey,
there most
hey,
of my
neighbor.
life until I moved to South Beach. I could never go back to using an outdoor toilet again unless I absolutely, positively have to. Just to look down in the open pit and look at human waste and look at worms and see rats running in the pit. And sometimes the pit needed cleaning out. My father had to be hired to sprinkle lime over the human waste and have that absorbed before attempting to clean out a pit that was beginning to overrun. Horrors of horrors. Now, what I wonder about Baintown, if Baintown was represented by whoever, whatever party, and if that whoever, whatever party, estimated to have some $10 million, I am wondering if you use me to elect you to have all this power in the government you have, if $1 million of that gentleman's estimated 10 million could not have been put aside in 1 year to say, let's eliminate 100 outdoor toilets. Wouldn't that show gratitude for my vote to send you to Parliament to become the mighty man in the cabinet and in Parliament that you became. It shows that these people only wanted to use you to get power. And after that, to hell with you.
My view of that is a little different, you know. Whilst I understand the aspects from which you speak, but if we track the recorded history in post-1967, all right, the United Bahamian Party started the housing development. It was not started by the PLP with the Big Pond subdivision, which is right to the back of the College of the Bahamas, eh? That was the beginning of the elimination, in my view, of residents and outside toilets. And then the Progressive Liberal Party extended on that to Yellow Elder, okay? And then from Yellow Elder, you may have to remind me, they went to Elizabeth Estate, eh? And then from Elizabeth Estate, this is still a PLP, they went to Flamingo Gardens, eh? And then from Flamingo Gardens, they went next and next and next. And my view is that was for the elimination of the outside toilets and the enhancement of the generations of the Bahamians who came next. Now, my view is those who came from Bainstown and Grantstown and made the next step did not take the necessary steps to make sure who were coming after them did not have to use the same facilities that they used before.
May I just use a little more of your time, please? I don't intend to.
Go ahead.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I am now living in South Beach.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been here 30-some years,
Yes, sir.
moving from Baintown, where I was born and grew up,
Yes, sir.
spent some 20 or more years there.
Yes, sir.
We had to live in a tenement yard. And when it rained, you could smell
I know what you
that
mean.
toilet long before you arrived to deposit your human waste.
Yes, sir.
I live in South Beach. As far as I know, there isn't one outdoor toilet in South Beach proper.
Yes, sir.
You remember when this land was being developed by the Baker brothers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There were strict
Regulations, very strict.
restrictions on what could happen in South Beach. I am simply saying where we came from in West Street, most of the illiterates, they were high school dropouts. When they got age 13 or 14, hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more, no more.
Yes, sir.
I am convinced politicians only saw the residents of Baintown as persons upon whose backs they could ride to get where they wanted to go, to be wanted to be. And see you 5 years when we offer some rum and some ham and some turkey breast. And then we come up with some scheme to dupe you into re-electing again. And it became a class thing.
Yes, sir.
I am now in Parliament. I'm in, a special class.
Yes, sir.
And power brings wealth. We control the economy of the country now that we're in Parliament of access, either directly or indirectly, to the wealth of the country, one way or the other.
I just want to engage you for a short second. You mentioned something. You mentioned something about having to come out of school at the age of 14.
Yes.
And I just want to take you back to that point. While that was legislatively the position, even after the Progressive Liberal Party came to power, and then it was the Education Act was then amended to move it to 16. I don't know whether there has been a comparable study done to show what impact having to have students prepare themselves for 9 years of schooling versus having it done for 12 years, what has been the educational benefit of extending that for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
Well, I don't know. I was around when Arthur Whining Davis scholarships were available. And I was one of the fortunate students after the death of Arthur Whining Davis to get an all-paid scholarship to Florida Memorial College, and the first 40 Bahamians to take at that. As a result of the scholarship, I got a better education. As a result of that, I got a better income because I was born to a household where my mother had 16 children.
Another call on the line. I would like to engage you some more, but thank you very much. Always interesting and always a good conversation that you. Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brothers. How you all doing?
We're doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine, Rev. I'm fine. Mr. Albee, all right?
I'm fine. How are you?
For the most part, we're talking toilet talk today. For the most part.
That's what I want to get out now. Senator Sims, you all right?
Tired of all the shit in the land.
Oh, could you say that?
Yeah.
Mr. Sims.
That's normal to say.
Well,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I want Mr. Sims to know when the PLP take over in 1967, the UVP had outside toilet, and Mr. Pennin had the mafia, and they ain't know nothing about it. If Mr. Marks was to tell you that, they meet plans on the drawing board to move all side toilet from 1967. Instead of
You mean before 1967?
Yes, sir, before 1967. When they get in power, they meet all the plans there. The Pennin do it, all he doing was preaching hate with the white man.
Well, if you heard what Mr. Sims said,
disagree
he
with
said
you
that the PLP continued with the Yellow Elder project. The UBP government began with the Big Pond project, and ever since there's been a steady improvement
Of low-cost
incentive of
housing.
low-cost housing. But what they did, let me tell you what's the problem is that while they develop new areas, the existing residents within the inner city community, they did little to encourage to replace the outdoor toilets with modern facilities. That's while you must credit all governments with communities in encouraging from one area into the next. But what they left behind, those people left their former residences, they rented them out, and they did not upgrade. And I think that's Mr. Sims said that.
But you see, Bishop, there's a fundamental error. Whilst the Progressive Liberal Party, and you see, the FNM could do the condemnation all they wish, you know. The majority of low-cost housing was initiated in the Bahamas underneath Party. The point remains so.
Now, when you say the majority,
The
you got to be
majority of
careful
them.
because see,
Go ahead.
under both governments,
Go ahead.
you would find that we have to get when you say
No,
the
no, I
majority,
say majority.
you have to say the number now.
Considerably.
Yeah. How much was developed? Progressive Liberal Party came to power. How much was developed under the F&M? See, now when you say we have to give empirical numbers.
How much was developed on the FLM?
Yeah.
You see, the
How much? Give us numbers. Under PLP.
Let's see if the caller can help us. Caller,
See, when you say majority, we have to have the numbers to cover it.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Straight talk.
Caller,
Credit.
Yes, sir.
are you still there?
Yeah.
I want you
Mr.
to get
Yes, sir.
who built the most houses as far as local cost housing is concerned.
Well, as my member, mind me, I said me, but as my member, Elizabeth Estate, that come under Mr. Ingram.
But that's PLP.
I said
That's
PLP.
Yeah, that's
Minister.
PLP.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the African built some housing too, some good housing.
Where?
Yes, sir. I'm not disputing that.
Where? Where?
This new subdivision before the PLP come back in power, they built some good housing.
Now let me ask PLP.
They
When
built private estates.
the F&M came to power, there's a community called Emerald Gardens that they developed.
We're talking about.
There was one called
It's Linden Pinland Estates.
no, Linden Pinland is private.
There's
Linden Pinland is private.
It's private.
It's Awak Key. Awak. Hold on now. That's Awak Homes. Millennium Garden. See, about the number of. They say that's why I say when you start to say majority, you must back it up. You want to say there's true numbers, but there are a number of communities. You have Jubilee Gardens, which was developed by started by the Progressive Liberal Party. Remember when the issue came up about the dump being built so close to the dump? Who was the idea? Who's the originator of that? The idea behind building it so close to the dump? That issue came up. But there are a number of communities. There are a number of.
private too.
But
There were a number of communities. I think none can dispute that there were both governments have done a good job to build housing to get people. But I say,
But
the failure is this. The failure is this, that those existing, yes.
Why they did not eradicate the outdoor toilets?
That's the problem.
If they had
We can
continued,
talk about how much the communities they developed,
Right.
how much houses they built, but they left a
if they had
void.
continued with Grandstand Urban Renewal,
Yes.
the initial Grandstand renewal,
It hurt me.
Grandstand would not be the way it is
It
today.
hurt me when I go to my corner and through them corners and see all them outside toilet in the kind of rain. It hurt me. Reb,
Yes.
I have another point before I go. I am Mr. Albee tell me say I must listen to Ms. Martin, so I decided to listen to a little bit Friday. And she pitched up and say, and still the government putting Wi-Fi in the settlements and the constituency. There's so many people hiking, ain't got no food or nothing like that. Government need to take that money and buy food and take.
So why didn't they buy food for the people with all the money? Yeah, that's what I would get up and ask her that. Why didn't you all buy it?
I didn't call it. I just listened to that little piece and I joined the station. 'Cause I think she was on. I don't know what's wrong with them.
No, but you must understand, I want people to understand that the Progressive Liberal Party in opposition, they do a good job. All right? In government is where they have a problem.
See, to you and your caller, there is a fundamental difference. A fundamental difference
When you're on one side or the other.
between what side you're on.
Mhm.
The Free National Movement is a political party. The Progressive Liberal Party is a cult.
Is it what?
It's a cult. It takes care of its own
Got to drink
when
the
it is there.
Satan color Kool-Aid.
It has to be goalie.
Don't deny it.
Drink the
No,
Satan-
I-
Deny it.
I got it
It
tonight.
takes care of its own.
Yeah, I got it like that's how it is get in trouble. But you don't have the poor. Don't have nobody. Only a certain few they help.
One is a party, the other is a cult.
Yeah. See? So
Think about that.
That's my 5 cents, and I can finish listening to you all for the rest of the evening.
You have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
I miss you all yesterday, though. I miss you all yesterday.
What happened,
What happened yesterday?
Did it
The
rain?
signal wasn't on. I told you
Did it rain
that.
yesterday?
Yes, sir.
We were not on yesterday.
I ain't got
You made me and Madden. It was in this
And they're
studio
talking all day and they
for
don't
2
hear
hours, and y'all didn't hear us.
I'm going to take Tuesdays off starting next week.
All
Every
right, sir.
Tuesday.
All right. Thank you very much.
And I mean that. I'm not apologizing for that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm off every Tuesday.
what about Thursday?
We can consider that too.
This is Straight Talk. We're coming back. This is your host, Greg Colley, along with my co-hosts, Martin Aubrey and Senator Derek Sims. And we're coming back after we hear from our sponsors.
For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction. The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 Thigh Snack Special.
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 Thigh Snack Special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included.
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. This is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Straight Talk, and with your host, Greg Colley, Martin Aubrey, and former Senator Derek Sims. Well, this last hour, we're going to be talking about, according to the newspaper today, Bahama confusion. They say that the PM's press secretary gives a conflicting statements on the Prime Minister's position. Let's see if we can read about it, a little bit about this. Despite telling the Nassau Guardian earlier yesterday that the Prime Minister will not intervene in the Bahama sale transaction, Press Secretary to the Prime Minister, Anthony Newbold, told reporters at an afternoon press conference that the entire situation is being evaluated. Newbold said the evaluation process means that Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has had no official reaction to the request for a moratorium on the Bahama sale. This despite the Attorney General's already saying the government will not tamper with the deal. In a statement to the press on Sunday, former Bahama developer Sakis Ismailian called on the Minnis administration to place a moratorium on the completion of the Bahama sale. So is there a confusion? We have a call on the line. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Welcome, Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
All right.
I was listening to my old friend there, and I hope you and Martin picked that up. What he said when he said the PLP is a cult.
Well, tell me what he meant by that.
What he meant, one for all. See, the thing it is, I leave school when I was 12 years of age. All of y'all elder garden, I did the plumbing, put down the plumbing there, me and Donnie's store. The immigration building, I did that. The World Banking, Carlton House, I did that for Standard Plumbing. The American Embassy, I did that for Standard Plumbing. Most all of the plumbing inspectors in the Ministry of Works, they worked under me. One little chap there wasn't a plumber, he was a carpenter. I don't think he'd mind me calling his name Robertson. That's one of the smartest young men I've met. And he was under me and he worked, and he always respect me to this day. And I say that to say this. See, our problem is we don't understand what we're getting in. The F&M and the PLP is mixed. And what we need to do now, stop worrying about a few jobs. We need to get something definite, change the law. Change the law. If the F&M say they're going to change the law. Put in law and there to protect ourselves. Because if we go another 5 years or something like this, with them doing the same thing, we have done nothing. This is the people's time. This the people need to get up and do and make them do what they want us to do. My friend, all you see in Collins Yard or Oak Hill area, that was layout with drainage for sewage.
So why are there still outdoor toilets in very many of these areas?
Well, and in some cases, they made people put they build toilets, but you have to come out your house and do it. Some. But then some of the people, the politicians, them stopped doing it. They just stopped just like that.
Do you think some people are comfortable with the outdoor toilets and don't want nobody?
Nobody is comfortable.
You don't think so?
No. But the thing, if we say are we for the people, we must think for the people. We can't just allow it. If you get let's say the Chinese come in here. If they come in here to make a deal, you got to make them put a deal. Hey, we need Elizabeth Estates fixed. Now, what could you do?
But let's look at it. Those communities like Elizabeth Estate,
yes, that's
like Flamingo Gardens. In addition to modernizing, those people, when you move them out of Bain Town, when I had my outdoor toilet, I had to pay no sewer bill. Now you move me into Elizabeth Estate, you move me into Flamingo Gardens, I now have a bill to pay water and sewage. Yes. I now have water to pay. I have light to pay. So, but now when I don't have a job, I ain't got to worry about nobody cutting off my sewer. Me.
But see, that's the problem. When investors come into your place and they don't come here just to be here. They come here because they come to make money, and they can make money. But if you don't let them do things for you, that for the people, instead of for every politician putting their hand in their face and getting money, that's why we are so wrong. I've been a plumber for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
I work all over the United States. I've been on the contract, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I started to go to school with Merrifield.
See, but I talk about the whole situation whereby you talk about improving the lives of the people, improving it, making sure you have all these infrastructure in place. But you ain't telling me when I get all these new infrastructure, the additional cost that is going to put on my back, including cable, including all these telephones that you're giving me. Now you're giving me all these choices. I got a Live and I got BTC. Some people got 2 phones. Those things, if you go to figure out how much money you spend, how much you burn. In fact, Batelco encourage you to burn minutes.
Rev, when I used to go to school, I had to carry pancake to school for lunch. And you know what I do? I leave it home because it's greasy bag. I had
because you're shame.
Mark Spin and them like that. The white boys. My old lady used to make the banana bread, and they used to come home for it. And I don't want no ham and little thing like that. Take it, but I only used to get that once, maybe Sunday. See, our problem is we have to priority. We got to make our priority right. See, like how you say there, but these private subdivisions, they're supposed to put these things in. But again, like go back to Mr. Sims, the college. It's okay if John Blow do now. Mr. T try to do it. That's the problem. See, we got to stand up for our people. I hear when ladies she used to go to Aquinas, always calling into these stations. They got a station here. When you talk so much about this party or that, they cut you off. See, we don't need this. We're in the United States, when you see one strike, everybody strike.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling.
Have a nice day.
Wonderful. We have a WhatsApp call. Let's go to that call. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Greg,
Yes,
I
sir.
want to ask you all in there, can anyone give me an update on what's going on with Bahama? Chris, that'll be question number one. And I heard the debate going on about who built the most houses and all of that, but let's just be real for a minute. The PLP was in power for 40 years in the Bahamas. The FNM was in power for like what? I think this is going to make 20 years. You know, to me, honestly, the PLP have done less because when you really look at it, our home is a private construction company or development company, and they have built probably just as much low-cost houses as the PLP government.
Or more.
It's a known fact. Yes, it's a known fact that when the FNM is in power, the FNM build more affordable houses than the PLP government. And look at the type of houses that the PLP government has built. But when you look at it, you're talking about outside toilet. Let's keep it real for a minute now, okay? Look at the areas where all of these outside toilets are. Has always been represented by PLP MPs, Valentine Grimes, Bradley Roberts, Mr. Christie. You go over in Angleston, I think was starting to be corrected. I think St. Michael's back then was Paul Adley. I started to be corrected, but
George
there's always been PLP areas. It seemed to me as if the model from the PLP for people who are actually living in this area is to keep you all poor and always having to hand your hand out to me and beg me to do something for you, which has never been done. Go and look at South Anderson, what Mr. Pendleton represents for over 26 years. Okay? It just goes to show the difference. Go and look at South Abaco. Go and look at North Abaco. Look at the difference, my brother. It will tell you straight and plain that the FM is the party for the Bahamian people. The PLP is a party for all, for me, baby.
So do you agree with Senator Sims' assessment that the PLP is a cult and not a political party?
Well, I mean, I respect Mr. Sims' decision, but I don't have.
You don't want to go that far.
That the PLP.
You don't want to go that far.
I don't have any proof that they are a cult, but I would say this much. I just simply hate the doggone PLP man. Don't like them. Plain and simple. Okay, it's plain and simple. You know, let's get on. The FNM has just become the government. All of these questions that are being asked and thrown out, while it is good and it is healthy for discussion, and we need to hold the FNM government accountable, and I am all for that. But you look at a lot of the persons who is really making noise. You have You have Curious George. I refer to her as Curious George in House of Assembly, always jumping up and Glennis Anna Martin. Okay, they talking about Jumping Jack. Curious George is the perfect name for her. They just not even 2 months ago. What have they done for the inner city, especially for Nassau? Go and look at Freeport. The canvases is still on the people's houses and Freeport. Google it. You would see it. Blue. Everything is just blue. It's a crying shame. If I had it my way, Greg Martin and Mr. Derek Sims, and it wouldn't have cost me forget myself and no problems, I would have taken a cow cock and I would have whooped every one of them from Perry Christie right down if there was a penalty or some repercussion, because they are lousy. And I see why Mr. Ingram used the word some years ago. I'm going to say that word, but I would say worthless. I see why Mr. Ingram more and more each and every day. But can someone please let me know what is going on? Is Sarkis getting it back? Does Sarkis deserve to have Bama back? What are your take, in your opinion, on him having Bama back? And has the sale for Bama being finalized?
Well, let me ask you before you go. Should the government, you're going to be the first one to answer the question because we can put it to our listeners. Should the government of the Bahamas consider giving Mr. Ismailian back ownership of Bahama?
Great. Use the collie. I'm a collie. Answer that question. You know what the answer is what's coming from me. Why are you trying to play tea-tight with me today? You know that
yes. Okay. So we put it as a yes.
I answer.
We put it as a yes.
Yes, they should.
All right.
Yes, they should. As far as I'm concerned, the Perry Christie-led administration should have never gotten involved in that deal with Obama or whatever it was. It was a private matter. They should have stayed out. And what they did to Sarkis, I don't think it was called for. I think it was unethical for them to entertain the Chinese the way they did. Now, yes, let's face it, Sarkis did something that probably irate Mr. Christie in terms of filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware. But then again, look at where his back was. He wasn't getting anything from the government in terms of support when there was all kind of allegations for what was actually going on. Yes, Menace administration should look at Sarkis in terms of letting that man complete Bama and get the dog on a Chinese stem off Bahamian soil.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have another call. We're gonna take it. We're gonna begin. We're gonna continue that question. And you know, Straight Talk is the barometer. Whenever we have a poll, usually our callers are right on in their opinion. And so we're gonna continue that question. We're gonna ask the question. We have a caller on the line. Thank you very much, caller.
Hello again. Listen here, you asked Collie just now for the answer, right?
Yeah, he said yes.
Listen here. We don't want the government to give Israeli.
No, not give.
No.
Should they consider allowing him? Should they allow him? Should they continue to allow him to negotiate to get that whole property back? You said no?
What the Bahamian people want and what they vote for is to give the man a fair chance. Winder, receiving. Winder, the judge. You know, and not that it is in there. We keep running around. Somebody's son gets $500,000 or more.
So we can put you. We can put you under yes that it should. They should consider it.
Some family has been waiting from day one to that place, and they only trying to don't let it come out. But we give the people a fair chance. If we lose, we lose it. But what I like to see you do, Rev, because I know you and Martin is good at this. Try and get Joan Sawyer, who knows the law, and put her on there and let her be able to
We've been asking for a contact for Joan Sawyer. If anyone out there listening to us, could you text the contact so we can get in touch? In fact, I want to have Mr. Ismarillion on the show as well. If someone listen, Mr. Ismarillion can give me the contact so that we can arrange to bring him on the show. We'd like to do that also. 552-7902, 552-7902. Just text us the number, the contact. We would like to speak with former Court of Appeal President named Joan Sawyer and also Mr. Sakis Ismarillion. Thank you, caller. Ladies and gentlemen, we're putting a question out there. The last caller said he doesn't think Mr. Ismarillion has been given a fair shake. He suggested that there has been a shakedown between Winder and Winder. Winder the receiver, Winder the. I don't think that's perhaps a good fair characterization. But anyway, should the government open the process to allow Mr. Ismarillion another chance to take over ownership of Bahama? We're going to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Prime Minister and the Deputy. I see y'all get a consultant and they're sitting with y'all this evening.
Absolutely.
Man, y'all don't play, y'all really taking Straight Talk to another level. Listen, I think the government should give him chance because listen, no, that was Mr. Sakis' baby. No one could birth that like the person that was his vision. The same thing that Mr. Sakis didn't Atlantis did that some years ago? You remember that? Didn't Atlantis file chapter? The same thing with what he did?
Yes,
the government did not get involved.
They ended up with new ownership.
Exactly, and the government, I think it was Mr. Ingram at the time, they did not get involved.
That is true.
And why did them, the minute they put their hand involved with that, things got messy. Listen to me. If I go and invest my money with you as a partner, I'm bringing my 50%. Every time you come to the table, you don't have your share. We keep postponing and you telling me we can do it this time, we can do it another time. So what happened? The man was frustrated because the other involved, they did not live up to their side of the bargain. Come on, man, we got to be real. That man deserved to birth that what is his vision. And when he finished with Nassau, go and Grand Bahama, man, and do something over there.
All right.
You understand? Go, yeah, give him Nassau and then go Grand Bahama and put the same thing there because my family over there needs some help.
And we need to put our people to work.
Exactly, and we need to get them people who don't recognize God. We need to get them out of our country, man. We need them having too much power here. They don't have too much land here. I know how to get here anyhow. But anyhow, thanks. But give it.
Thank you very much, caller.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So far, we've had 3 comments who favor giving Mr. Sakis Ismarillion a chance. After all, it is his vision, his brainchild, his baby. We feel that things will be better if Mr. Sakis Ismarillion is at the top, leading that charge with that organization to make sure completed, so that we can get that fully open, and to get our Bahamians back to work. Let us know what you think. The question is, should Mr. Sakis Ismarillion, the government, should they consider allowing Mr. Sakis to get back on board to retain the ownership of that property, or should the government move on with the company that's currently in place? And my colleague Martin Orby will call the name because I say I'm not going to take a chance on radio.
It's Chow Tai Fook Enterprises.
Yeah, but you see,
and you also have another company called Perfect Luck.
Perfect Luck is the one that's running it now.
A special purpose vehicle. Who's selling it? Tai Fook.
And the special purpose vehicle is owned by the company who was given the financing, the China Import-Export Bank. Right.
Yeah.
The only question I have about that, is Bahama is being activated now. By November, another phase of Bahama will come on stream, which will probably bring 2,500 persons into the employment exchange in the Bahamas. We now, as the present government, move back to the accommodation of Marillion, I think it is pronounced. What are the advantages and the disadvantages to the 2,500 persons now employed at Bahama? That's the primary concern of this nation.
Let's go to phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Caller, good afternoon.
Straight Talk. How are you all doing?
We're doing great. How about you?
Man, I was going to just listen and not to say nothing today. But because you mentioned, I don't know if I pronounced the name right.
You got it.
Well, I had told you all, I think this week, I feel the gentleman should have that place, that for Bahama back. And no one knows what all he's gone through. Because when you think of all the things, the wrong that the PLP have done, you don't know how much money he had paid out. They come after you for money and you don't give it to them. You don't give them all they have. They want the pot of food, but they can carry the pot and all that they can. You know, it's just greedy. But the man deserves to have that place back, and it will be in the Bahamas' interest to give him a chance, because Bahamian will get jobs, man. Because his intention is good for the Bahamian people. He lives here. And it'll be more jobs for Bahamian. And does he have plans? I don't know him. Only when I see him in the paper and the TV, but from just looking at him, he is a sincere person. And he is hurt. The government has failed unless you talk with him to find. But they hurt him. Give him back his property. I said yes. Let him have it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. So we have another call on the line. Okay.
4-1.
That's 4-1.
Give back.
Give back.
4. No, give back to Sarkis. 1 vote.
You have no?
Oh, yeah.
Who said no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No.
Oh, you can't vote. You can't vote.
Let's continue on with the process. Let's keep
You can't vote. The power can't vote. We're here to facilitate.
He said,
let's
no,
that's it back.
No, turn it back.
No, we facilitate. That's
See, I understand. I understand. Paul.
That one don't count. That one don't count. We facilitating. We have a call on the line. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue our discussion. We have the final segment of Straight Talk. If you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk with your host, Greg Colley, Martin Albee, and former Senator Derek Sims. And we're discussing Bahama. When we come back, we're going to continue it. Let us know. The question is, should the government consider allowing Sarkis as Marillion back on board to be the to give him a chance in order to retake or to head Bahama? After all, it's his brainchild. It is baby. Should we allow him? Do you think he's been given a fair shake or not? When we come back, we'll continue to discuss it. This is Straight Talk. We're coming back after we hear from our sponsors.
For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-565-8896 or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's construction. The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken Night Special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 thigh snack special.
I tell you.
$5.99 thigh snack special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included.
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. Yes. Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Give me some straight talk and hold the sugar, please. Straight talk, sounds plenty sweet to me. Talk to me in circles and some mumbo jumbo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Straight Talk and your host, Greg Colley, Martin Albee, and former Senator Derek Sims. And we're asking the question, should Sarkis Ismailian, earlier this week, Sarkis Ismailian had called on the Bahamas government to have a moratorium on the sale to stop it. And to, of course, notwithstanding what is reported in the press, what is being said, the Bahamas government have the sale. So they have the last say. Don't mind them talking and going around the mulberry bush. The Bahamas government have the last say as to where this sale go. So a deal ain't over yet, and nothing has been signed, and it's still open. So therefore,
I understand your
but that's all right. But I want to take this call before you start to answer me. Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk.
Hey, how you doing, fella? All right, man. I just want to weigh in on this whole Bahama.
Go right ahead, sir.
Deal is right. Is that okay? The thing needs to be open because they've been dragging on for so long.
Okay.
Now, the sale wasn't final as far as all the I and whatever it goes.
Right.
Right? But the thing about it is, if the civilian want the thing straight, he got to come with this. He got to come and say, well, look here. See my money right here. That's the only way this fella, to me, that's the only way this fella get this thing back.
Mm.
Because
but do you think that the government ought to give any consideration to Mr. Ismailian, or should they just continue dealing with who they're dealing with?
Well, the thing about it is, if the fella dragging, it's so got it now, right? If they dragging their foot, right, that ain't benefiting nobody. Because everybody could recognize, okay, my man get a bad deal. Because, do you
realize that Mr. Ismailian had more people employed before the bankruptcy thing than what employed now?
Yeah, look. Let me show you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you expect to put a pillar here, and then the pillar offline, then and when the Ministry of Works come in there and the thing ain't right, you gotta tear that down and put it where Ministry of Works say, because it gotta be up to code.
Right.
And that's what the chance to do on to them. There was so many people in there to do so much amount of work and such a period of time. Right now, I feel bad for the fellow, because how it is he just gets screwed like the rest of us get screwed when we hire a bar contractor.
So you agree that he's been screwed?
Yeah, well, it's obvious that he's been screwed, because the thing about it is that The thing about it is, right, the man has a passion, the man know what he's doing as far as how it goes. But at the end of the day, we have to look at it to behaving people.
Right.
Because the thing about it is, we cannot exist. Every time we get a downgrade, okay, people at the end of the sentence, okay, Bahamas not open.
Right.
Bahamas not open.
Right.
You got Moody's saying the same thing. You got whatever the place name. The other ones, other than Moody's, saying the same damn thing, right? And the thing about it is, we got to get real with this thing, right? We have to get this thing open.
Should we allow former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram to be the closer in this deal?
No, it's not involved.
Well, he got
I mean, to me, it's not.
he got it going, and look like maybe only him one could close it.
No, well, I mean, like how it is. What would you say? Minister don't have the.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about as a negotiator. Don't forget now, the Progressive Liberal Party had its lead negotiator, former Attorney General. I'm asking, do you think he should play a similar role? That's all I'm asking.
Well, okay. Well, let me answer it this way. The reason why I wouldn't say no, I would say no to Mr. Ingram, because Mr. Ingram has been off the scene and let him enjoy his retirement. But I would also say that, like, it had Mr. Ismailian taken.
But he knows Mr. Ismail really well. He knows his capacity, and he knows the whole deal.
Let me finish my thought now.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why I say no to Mr. Ingram is that had Mr. Ismailian accepted Mr. Ingram's advice to not to build this whole thing one time, but Mr. Ingram came to him and said, "Look, man, you know,
do it in stages.
Do it in stages." It wouldn't have been no problem today.
Well, he wasn't listening to Ingram then because he was listening to Perry Christie.
Okay then.
Perry Christie wanted to outdo Hubert Ingram with that lattice.
Well, it's all about a legacy thing.
That's right. He listened. So he was swayed. Well, Ingram was not the prime minister then. He was in bed with Perry Christie.
But my deal is this, okay. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm not involved anyway in the construction or whatever it is, but my deal is this, is that we need this open. Every time you drive past there and then you say, okay, well, damn, look at this. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the first thing comes to your mind. If you used to be here, whether you come from Anagua or Bimini or whatever it is, right? You're like, look at this. This is a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get it open so people can have something to do, right? So we can try to get something going in this town.
So let me get your vote because we got to move on. Should we give him a chance, or should we just move on without him?
Okay. If he demonstrates that, look here, if it costs $5 and he has the $6, not even $5.
Once he demonstrates he'll be able to carry on, we should give him a chance.
If it costs $5 and he has $6 in the bank and he can say,
give him a chance.
Over the $6,
give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's yes.
Okay.
Once he shows that he has the capacity, let me read this text. Good day, gentlemen. I think the PLPs are a cult, and they should make sure Ismail get Bahama back. If not, we will get angry. That means the people. Mr. Corey, I hate these naughty PLPs. Wow. Looks like menace afraid of these wicked creatures called PLPs. I have another text here to read. This one says, yes, give Sarkis another chance. Okay. Gentlemen.
Maybe all differ from that. The Bahamian people is the paramount importance.
And I
in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
I'm anxious to put this down as a no vote.
And they are now.
No. We ain't talking. The panel don't have no vote.
Okay.
I said the panel does not have
a certain voice.
Then he might be able to sway some people, sway some callers to go his way. If he can't sway his callers to go his way, then
the Bahamian people, gentlemen, are now employed.
Yeah.
And my concern is, okay, Sarkis
could put it in jeopardy.
Could put this whole motion of activity back in jeopardy. And as a result of that, we could go back into a bankruptcy.
But
disclosure all
no,
over
no, but
again.
you understand the last call had a very important point.
I heard him.
It says, yes, I mean, he thinks that you ought to give him a chance, providing he shows that he has all the necessary ingredients to move this project forward without any further delay. But he does believe that he ought to be given a consideration because he believed that he was hoodwinked, he was hijacked. You know what it is to borrow the money from the people you borrow. You go to the bank, you borrow the money, all right, from them. But let's before I develop the point, let's go to the phone line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Martin,
Good afternoon.
how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
The other friend, I have this thing for you.
Right. Thank you very much.
You get a pen, but I
No.
want to.
Just give it to my producer when we're off air.
Well, I tried to do something, give that to him, but he told
Okay,
me.
but don't tell me any further.
Okay.
How would you vote on the question that we're asking today?
Building back man.
Why?
But
Why give him back?
Because he started it.
Okay.
Well, he started on my land, you know. See, this is not my land, you know.
Yeah, but
you all are not recognizing the fact.
Senator, ain't
That
nobody
is
listening to you so
that
far.
is on my land.
Yeah, that's right. Ain't nobody listening to you so far. Your argument ain't wrestling with nobody so far. Let's see what that's.
Santa,
Yes,
you say that's your land?
yeah, that's our land.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you mean our land?
Yes.
Yeah, the Bahamian people.
That's the
Oh,
Bahamian
I
people land.
thought you say your land.
Ain't own no land.
Mama is on our land.
That's our land.
All right.
Anyhow, listen.
That-
Tell your
No,
producer
just do me a favor. Don't hang up. Just give the producer the number for me, and I'll
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, you
You
take
have
care
a
now.
good afternoon,
You too.
and I hope the lights stay on.
All right.
Oh, I want no light now, because right now.
Yeah, but no.
Okay.
Let me take this next. Let me go to this next
text.
Okay. Bishop, yes, give Sakis his hotel back because he invested $900 million into it.
How much we invested?
It's all right.
How much did the Bahamian public invest?
At least $2 billion.
You're talking foolishness, man.
We did?
Yeah, man. You don't know how much concessions we gave.
All of this our land.
Did you add it
All
up?
the concessions
I'm
we had to
still
give.
adding.
Okay.
It's
The
still
pro-
more.
so the project only
and
avoid
It's
3.5 billion.
now up to
Give,
4.2 billion.
give.
All right, so
4.2.
if we take 1 billion,
And 2 billion of that is
So,
our money.
no, hold on. Now, if you take, hold on. Let's do the math. If you take 1 billion and give it to Sakis,
Yeah.
and you give 2.5 to the Chinese,
Yeah.
that will leave us with 1 billion.
But that's still leave us
Oh,
without that.
That's all right.
Still my land.
That's all right. Let's go to the phone line. Let's go to the phone line.
With my land.
Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon, caller.
Good day. How are you?
We're doing fine. How are you?
Much better. Talking. Let's back Mr. Sims on the side.
Back him on the side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not in agreement with this. I understand you, sir.
And I want to put this vote down bad.
You can't put it down. You can't vote. None of you can vote. None of us can vote. We're only facilitating.
Sir.
Mr. Sakis should have this thing back, right?
Okay.
Because he's been there a long time. And I think they run over him, like, throw him under the bus. One of the main reasons Mr. Sakis should get his back, he want to employ Bahamians to finish the place off.
You mean Bahamian contractors?
Are we counting the costs of making such a decision?
Yeah, of course. It only could. The place was a 97% finish, right?
There should be more than that now, based on what the concessions we've given up and the additional things. It should be more than that now. In fact, that holder should be 100%.
Right. So whatever the Bahamian contractors do, they'll be Bahamian, and after the place open, we could still hire the same people to maintain the whole place. You can't leave them Chinese here to do the maintenance, right?
I'm looking at the National Review in today's edition of the Nassau Guardian.
Uh-huh.
And at the headline, it has this word that I don't really want to pronounce, but I can spell it for you.
Yeah.
It says Suckered.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
And where you stand on an issue depends on where you sit.
Right.
Is Merlion appears set to lose a key ally in Prime Minister Hubert Minnis.
No. I don't
Now the FNM is in office, it seems as if a shift in tone is on Bahama.
No,
But Mr. Aubrey,
No,
I can't
no.
disagree with you.
Well, then I'm looking. I don't want anybody in here to disagree with me.
The Attorney
Nobody.
General. The Attorney
Has
General.
Ismailian been suckered?
No, the Attorney General says the Bahama deal is a front. And if the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Bahamas says there are no inconsistencies in the Bahama deal,
Because
the Bahama deal should be proceeded.
Yeah, because it got 9 more. It's 9 more, ma'am.
Where you stand on an issue depends on where you sit.
Yeah, but you can't take what the paper say, man. They won't sell people.
Of course, they're
I'm
sensationalizing
I'm taking
the
the
issue.
word of the Attorney
All right.
General.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take this for what you think it is. A grain of salt. Sarkis Ismailian wants and expects to get back Bahama.
I know that.
He started the project.
Yeah, he should.
It's his vision.
He should.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, he should.
He stared through all the problems that it encountered.
Right.
Tortuous waters.
No, I thought he wanted
Brought
the
it
country
to
in my
where
country.
it is today.
Mr.
Now he has lost it completely.
I'm glad he lost
I don't think so.
But how
And-
he lost it completely?
and
He shouldn't have a
his
country in
last
my
hope
country.
for
I don't
getting
think
the
Bahama
Chinese will
back
have a country in your country.
is
Happy with that?
Sarkis' last hope
You prefer Chinese having the
of
country in
getting
your country?
Bahama back in the hands of the Hubert Minnis administration?
Yes, I think he can get it back.
Is it in the hands of Dr. Hubert Minnis?
Yeah, when you listen, but all the rest of the stuff ain't come out yet.
Yeah, well, I can wait for that to come out. But I said it's
Yeah.
Marillion, no.
But who own the place now?
Good thing.
Who owns Bahama?
Who owns Bahama?
The person or the bank that facilitated
What
the
is
loan.
the name?
The bank is Export-Import Bank of
Chinese
China.
Bank.
Yeah, but who paying the loan to the bank now?
What,
There's a company called Perfect Luck.
Perfect Luck.
Where Perfect Luck get this from?
Perfect Luck is a special.
Perfect
purpose-
Luck is the same company
Special
as
purpose
CC, the China Export Import. That's the same thing. It's just the same kind of hoodwink that the Bahamas government tried to put on us
That's what I'm talking about.
with Bank of the Bahamas,
So
creating a special purpose vehicle. It's the same entity. Don't get confused, but it's the same people.
It ain't the same because I understand. Well, this same Perfect Luck. It got
Perfect Luck is owned
And
by the Chinese
last-
government
The last thing I
as
heard,
that's the Chinese Export Import
Well,
Bank.
the last word I
Okay.
heard is that even
Also-
though the commercially sensitive aspects of the deal are still sealed before the Supreme Court, that the deal calls for Chow Tai Fook to purchase Bahama from Perfect Luck for $4.2 billion by 2018.
Now, let me tell you something. I want to just take issue. I want to just take issue. I want to just take issue with what was said by the rationale that the Attorney General gave for keeping the deal sealed. They say it's an agreement between two private people.
Yes.
Now, what he actually is saying is a deal that's between the Chinese Import-Export Bank and
Perfect Luck.
Perfect Luck.
Perfect Luck.
And what about other fellow?
They're the same people.
Yeah, but other
You know,
fellow.
it's the same people.
No,
Yeah, but there's another fellow who
Chow
was
Tai
it.
Fook.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chow
Chai
Tai Fook.
Oh, Chai Tai.
Yeah.
And the Cheng
your
family.
people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a deal between Chow Tai Fook,
Yes.
and
Perfect
Luck.
Yes.
This is the bank.
On behalf
So the
of
bank,
China,
the bank, and the Chow Tai Fook
the
has worked on
purchaser.
some deal. The purchaser,
Mhm.
and it's a private deal. And what may be in that deal is that you will find that because it's between two Chinese, the deal may be more favorable. That was being offered to Mr.
Ismailian.
Ismailian, which will further underscore may further underscore, may further reveal that what has been said before, that that the Chinese Import-Export Bank and through its China Construction Association ambush Mr. Ismailian.
Okay, ask me one question before I go.
Sir.
Luck own the building?
Perfect Luck is a special.
No. Who owned Bahamas?
Who owned it?
Yeah.
Well, right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Okay, good. No, let me just. I was trying to put it in it. When you mortgage your house with the bank.
Yeah.
And you can't pay your mortgage, right?
I know all of that.
Even though you but I try to answer your question.
No, but
Export-Import Bank of China.
Who own
Export-Import Bank of China.
Own the property.
That's it.
So who Ms. Rayleigh is paying money to?
Who is what?
Who
he was paying the money to?
Yeah.
He's paying it to the Import-Export Bank.
And China Construction America to build the place.
Yeah, but China Construction in America.
All them in one piece. All them owned by the Chinese government.
So that shouldn't have nothing to do with Ms. Rayleigh.
We mean it don't have nothing to do with it.
No, there's the contract. They doing the job for the bank.
You see,
who's owned by the Chinese government?
What we really don't know is what was the deal between Mr. Ismailian and the Chinese bank.
Right.
We don't know.
But
based on what they are doing.
Yeah, they're trying to confuse them.
Based on what they are doing, they are keeping Mr. Ismailian out.
Because of the Bahamas government?
This thing is getting more curious and curious.
But listen, one thing for sure, one thing we know for sure, the Bahamian people do not have any time to keep going back and forth with this issue. We want this resolved, and we need the Bahamian people to work.
Remain open.
Yeah, but
we need it open, but we need it to be fully open.
Fully open.
Not partially open. We need it fully open.
Right.
And we need to get our Bahamian people, just like the Chinese were adamant about bringing their workers so they can give them work. We must be even more so adamant of getting our Bahamian people to work.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Thank you very much, caller.
Stop giving
All right.
Chinese all
Now,
the benefit of the doubt wrong here.
let me read this text. Mr. Ismailian deserves to buy back his project because number one.
Only if he got the cash.
No, but let me listen to the text. Listen to the text. We already know how you feel, Mr. Number one, because of the nasty work done to divest him of it. Number two, Sarkis will not be under pressure to demand 1,500 citizenship for Chinese. Number three, there will be no objection to his ownership by the Yankees. And Derek is almost always negative and mostly mistaken or wrong. Okay.
Well, I still want to count Mr. Derek Simpson's vote.
You could almost want to do what you wish, but it ain't gonna count because none of us are gonna vote here. We're facilitating.
I love to hear him say no.
No, that's all right. He can say that. You didn't hear him say no already. But you and that's not gonna count. So far, it's a no hitter.
9-0.
It's a no hitter.
9-0.
Let the process on Bahama continue as it is going now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have about left to weigh in on this conversation. Do you think that Mr. Ismailian ought to be given a second chance to re-own his hotel, to get his project back? But would that be in the best interest of the Bahamian people in getting it? Because right now, as it stands, it's just sitting there. No, nothing is happening. And we need our people back to work. Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, how are you doing?
We're doing great. How about you?
Great. I'm doing great. I'm saying yes. Question. When Ismail said he needed, some $2 million to finish on the project? That's correct? Or whatever number was he wrote?
Well, we know that Mr. Ismailian, we know his daddy have plenty of money. So money has never been really the issue with him. Although some people were saying that, but I believe he has the wherewithal. If he needs to raise the necessary cash to finish it, I know that he can do that.
Okay, fine. So the question then, is it that maybe he wanted those scoundrels out of his business?
He wanted them Chinese out so that because they were steering everything and messing up everything. He wanted them out, and he wanted to use Bahamian contractors versus the Chinese.
Also, some Bahamians who may have stores in his business.
You want to get? Oh yeah. Oh, you mean them people? The people who Derek described as cult belongers.
Yeah, because see, if he's saying it for $200 million to finish the project, only they say, let's sell some IPOs, we can raise some money and then he fund the difference, like they allow Sun to do to build that place in Dubai. And they'll finish off the failed phase of Lattice.
That's right. That was right.
Remember they move our money from here, mortgage
exactly.
Mortgage the property here and cause it to go into bankruptcy.
Yeah, so that talk sense.
Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I ain't got no sense.
Okay, that makes sense. I say yes, give the man an opportunity to point himself. If he could find about then move on.
But the bottom line is we need that place fully open. We need to put the Bahamian to work.
Exactly.
And if the Chinese hold it up, Chinese looking up for Chinese, Bahamian got to look up for Bahamian.
Yes, all hands on deck. That's why England decided to move those Chinese lights on the main road. Put them back. It's in China. You know the main road, those lights on the main road? England said, no, move those lights. It's in China. Put up Bahamian lights. Those BBC lights. We don't want those lights on West Main Street. Put them on the walkway where people walk. Because they would take over.
That's a different story now, you see.
No. It's all tied into one thing. That's what I hear you.
Chinese.
All right. Thank you very much, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 2 minutes left for you if you want to get in and weigh in on that discussion. We now have 10 votes to nothing. 10 votes in favor of giving Mr. Ismailian a second chance to get his hotel project back. But most importantly, while we are willing to give him a chance, we must be mindful that we need that project, we need that property fully open. We need Bahamians working. And while Chinese may look out for Chinese, we got to look. And as I want to use the argument that my colleague Martin Aubrey said, if we got $2 billion invested and Chinese got $2 billion, the Chinese can have more interest than us. This is our land. Absolutely. So we want our people to work. Absolutely. If it means having to kick the Chinese out, then we do it in best interest for the Bahamas.
Take $1 billion off my land. That's all.
All right. 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. Or you can WhatsApp us or text us at 552-7902, 552-7902. Senator Sims, you take first and wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't have no more hogs at the trough, like the headline says. You know, what is a small man to think and feel when he sees his leaders, now former leaders and their families, feeding at the trough whilst he struggled? One can understand the anger that continues to rise among some Bahamians, even though they sent Fitzgerald and the others packing. The level of their greed continues to be exposed. Okay, and whilst that is continuing to be exposed, my opinion is do not take a chance of delaying the Bama project any further. Let's continue with the progress as it has been initiated by the former government. Whether it was a soft opening or not, the property is now open. Bahamians are now employed. Please do not take a risk any further.
Let's take this final call. Caller, you have the last say. Welcome to Straight Talk.
Hey, good day, Brother Coley.
Hey, Prophet.
Good day, Brother Martin Aubrey.
Good day.
Good day, Brother Sam.
God bless you, sir.
Yes, sir. My vote is danger, big destruction. Don't take the bait.
They're not
take the bait.
They're not on the ballot.
No.
Give back or not give back. the question is, should Mr. Ismailian be given an opportunity to become involved with Bahama once again? Yes or no?
No, man, no. We ain't getting back down that road again. That's what caused the Perry Christie government of the office now. They're playing around so they're going to take back the BTC. You understand what I'm saying? The BTC did.
Let me just stop you right there.
No.
What caused the Perry Christie government out of office is by going ahead with the Chinese.
No, man, plenty of other things. Like I tell you,
but that's one of them.
I think you're all forgetting, you know.
The way 3 years trying to get back BTC.
Prophet, give me a minute, you see, because it ain't a Perry Christie government that bring the Chinese in here, you know. It's the Hubert Ingram government.
Now, we ain't talking about who bring them.
Talk with the Chinese.
No, we ain't talking about who bring them. In fact, the first time I heard Chinese working in here was when Ia Hanna brought them in here. It's been in school. So let me correct you on that.
Who did you get permission
from? Who did you get permission from?
Bring them Chinese in. Go ahead, Prophet.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, right? You can't be wasting time. You understand? Getting behind these things. All the thing is throwing the country back, man.
The people want jobs. More jobs.
What's that?
The people want jobs.
People want jobs,
we
right?
want jobs.
But I don't know.
More jobs.
And then you're falling up with this guy when he was dealing with.
Which guy are you talking about?
I'm talking about Mr. Ismailian. Don't forget it.
What he was dealing with.
I talking about the investor. You forget he was replacing the old people from Crystal Palace and Malia Sheridan and replacing them with these young people. You understand? They say with the new people and to come up, he was just replacing the Wakers. So the agreement with the side, right? There was supposed to be 5,000 the most they got employed. And all he was doing, he was like terminating and letting go people and making them redundant and bringing in the balance of the number of 5,000.
It's Marillion Nation.
That's right.
Hello?
Bahama
It's Marillion Nation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I understand.
He called it Bahama.
Bahama Nation, yeah.
Bahama Nation.
Yeah.
You understand? He said he was trying to build a state within himself. Or a state, another state in the Bahamas.
Yes.
And that can't wait. We can't have two government, two states. There only can be one.
Yeah.
And there only can be one citizen. That's the Bahamian flag, the Bahamas. Thank you. Y'all have a nice day.
All I said.
Thank you very much. Listen, it's getting hot. We got to continue this tomorrow.
All right. Well, the final vote today is 10-1.
Yes, sir.
We are in profit. Well, Senator Sims, you managed to get at least one
I can
in
see
your
the
favor.
We'll see you next Wednesday. You all continue tomorrow. We'll continue next Wednesday.
But based on the rounds I've been making on social media and what we've been hearing on various talk shows, are in favor of allowing Mr. Ismailian a chance because they figure he was not given a fair deal. And they feel that he stands a better chance in getting that project rolling because it's a matter of fact, when he had it, they had more people employed there than what it is today.
We're going to do a history of Bahama tomorrow.
And it is the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for your text messages, your telephone calls. As you know, Straight Talk has been on point with all of our polls, even though they may be small numbers. They've been clearly and accurately measuring the pulse of the Bahamian people. And so I believe the day is no different. People are in favor of allowing Mr. Sarkis Ismailian a chance. And again, as I send out this appeal, if anyone out there knows got a contact, you can text it to us at 5527902. 5527902. We'd like to have a conversation with Mr. Ismailian, and also we would like to talk with anyone who's connected with this project so that we can get a better understanding, so we can educate you more on what's going on with Bahama. On behalf of our producer and engineer, Nathan, my co-host, Martin Aubrey, former Senator Derek Sims, we want to thank you once again for your calls. Today's show has been brought to you by Doc's Pharmacy, located Robertson Road, by Master Assist, located Village Road, by Nature's Gifts Fresh Roasted Peanuts, located Market Street South, by Sammy's Chicken, 5 locations to choose from, by First Choice Appraisals and Sales, by Geneva Brass Seafood, located Eden Street off Farrington Road. Once again, thank you very much for participating. This has been Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners